Good evening and welcome back to Lovable Misfits presents the TTS League Second Chance League. Tonight we're going to be following Lou the Lunatic and his opponent, whose name I was led to believe was Leif. However, his handle is Suzumi Kazo, so I'm just going to call him Kazo for the rest of the evening. Apologies for the minute delay at the start there. I forgot to put my banner on there for my other scene. But I was taking a quick peek into what our rosters are going to be tonight. So we're going to get started with Kazo, or Kazo. I'm probably going to butcher that name a bunch of times. But it looks like we're going to be either Hydra or Black Order. We have a little bit of wiggle room on both sides. So we have Baron Zemo, Beta Ray Bill, Bob, Agent of Hydra, Corvus Glaive with the Reality Gem, I believe. Yep, makes sense. Luke Cage, Mystique, Nebula, Proxima Midnight, Red Skull, Master of Hydra, and then that looks to be Thanos with just the Mind Gem. So 7-threat Thanos. We don't get to see a lot of 7-threat Thanos. A lot of the time, we're just going to be rocking with the 8-threat Thanos. Being able to take 2 gems is very beneficial. And missions seem very killy. We've got Demons Downtown, Gamma Wave, Sweeps Across Midwest, Sword Base, Deadly Legacy Virus, Research Station, and Montesi. Now, these are very low-scoring missions. Demons only scores 3 maximum, Gamma only scores 4, Sword scores 4, Legacy Virus 3, Research can score 3 maximum, and Montesi is 3. So, very typical strategy for playing the attrition style rosters. You want to score fewer points every single turn. That way you can focus a lot more on killing. And then on the other side in the blue corner, weighing approximately weapon X pounds, is Lou the Lunatic, our protagonist. We're going to remain as unbiased as possible, but we have to root for our boy Luke, who is bringing his weapon X. We've already rolled for priority. We've got the mission down. We have Struggle for the Cube continues, and Gamma Wave sweeps across Midwest. I didn't see who won priority, so whoever lost priority will get to choose either 15 or 17, as well as what side of the board they want to settle on. It's going to be very exciting. I don't think we've seen a Hydra player on the channel. I think we saw Black Order once. So it's going to be very exciting to see either one of these rosters going up against Luke. Well, I might as well take this opportunity to have a look at the Team Tactics card that Kazo has brought tonight. He's brought Deception, Escort to Safety, Execute, Eyes on the Prize, Fall Back, Heroes for Hire, Mothership, Patch Up, Price of Failure, and Recalibration Matrix. So this screams to me that he's playing Black Order with as many cool characters as he possibly can. He doesn't have any Hydra cards in there, but he does have a couple of Black Order cards. Execute is just a really cool unaffiliated card that you're going to want to take every time you take Corvus and Proxima, allowing you to remove your opponent's defense dice on a certain attack. This is going to be a very, very fun game, and I think now this is a cool combination here. Price of Failure. Choose an injured allied character to play this card. Other allied characters gain 3. The chosen character is KO'd. Now, the interesting play there is you could play that on Bob. And Bob, when he's KO'd, doesn't KO. He just simply gets a Daze token. So you can effectively Daze Bob and get 3 free power on your entire team. It's a very, very cool interaction. Obviously, it requires you taking Bob and taking that card. Some might argue that there are better uses, but it's a cool interaction, and I kind of hope we get to see it. So we are now picking our rosters. I do kind of see through a little bit of the shield there, so I'm going to just zoom in on the table, or zoom in on the missions. So if you're watching this and you haven't seen either of these missions being played, we'll get a good read for them. So Struggle for the Cube Continues is going to offset the Gamma Waves a little bit. Struggle for the Cube Continues is a 5-point extract. Each cube that you're holding, if you're holding it in the cleanup phase, you suffer a damage and then you gain a power. You can hold multiple of these. It's one of the few extracts that you can hold multiple of. So the more that you hold, the more damage you take. The more damage you take, the more power you gain. This can be beneficial for both sides. Obviously, more power gain is better, but Kazo is going to get a little bit more benefit from it, from running Thanos. I believe Thanos allows him to reduce that damage. Corvus and Proxima can reduce damage, but only to a minimum of 1, so they would still take damage from the cube. And then Gamma Waves, 3 points, 3 secures on the board, right down the middle of the table. If you are within range 2 of it, you don't take damage, but if you're outside of range 2 of it, you do take damage. So that means that both of these extracts are looking to hurt our characters on the board. If you secure the central point or your own point, one closest to you to point, it's 1 victory point. If you are securing the secure, in your opponent's side of the board, then you will get 2 victory points. So that means that this mission combination right here is worth a maximum of 9 points per turn. Now this is relatively fast. Gamma Waves fits better into the attrition style. Struggle for the cube is going to make the game a little bit faster. So it'll be interesting to see which direction both of our players want to go. Specifically Kazo. I'm interested to see if he's going to be going if he's going to go Thanos into Corvus. That's going to be 7 plus the 5. It's going to be 12 points straight away. He can take Thanos, Corvus, and Proxima at 15 if he wanted to, but we could also be seeing a 17. Unfortunately, did not get to see who won priority. We don't get to see what threat is being picked until the players are revealing their rosters. So Lou is here. Lou is very excited for this game. I'll give you a little bit of insider knowledge. Lou is very excited for this game. He's been playing extremely well against a bunch of new people, against players that don't necessarily. Maybe it's their first league as well. His opponent today has been explained to me is a previous top cut finalist in previous leagues. So he's gonna have his work cut out for him today, playing against a veteran of this. And there are lots of benefits to playing TTS. TTS plays a little bit differently to real life games. So with his opponent being so well versed, he might be able to let us in on some cool little tidbits. Maybe he does something particularly cool. I'm excited to watch him. I'm excited to see, and I'm excited for us all to learn. It looks like he's got his roster ready to rock and roll. We are just waiting on Lou to finish his pickup. While we're waiting, we've got a couple people in the channel. Feel free to type in our chat here. We do have usually we have a very active chat. Looking mix of veterans, mix of intermediates, and a mix of newcomers. Everyone's welcome here. Welcome to ask as many questions as you want. If you have any questions of me, feel free to ask. It is just going to be me tonight, so ask away. Keep me company, keep me awake, and keep us all excited about this game. Squads are loading in. We are going 15. Okay. And, interestingly, we were very close to predicting Kazo's roster. We are going Thanos, Corvus, and Mystique. Mystique is going to be an interesting pick. It's going to allow for deception plays. He probably identified he doesn't need Proxima for the priority stealing because Lou doesn't have very many big models in his roster. Lou, on the other hand, has gone for Logan, X-23, Honey Badger, and Hulk. Pretty good lineup. Honey Badger is a bit of an interesting choice here because this effectively now makes it a 3-on-3 in terms of scoring. Thanos has the Mind Gem, and Mystique did bring Deception as well. So there's a lot of maneuverability shenanigans that the Black Order player can lay out onto us. So that means that with 15 being picked, we'll get to see who gets priority by deploying first. And I want to take this moment as well. If you are enjoying the content, please leave a like on the video, drop a comment once it's been posted, and please consider subscribing as well. It really does help us grow. It helps more people see the video, helps more people check it out, give us more feedback, and then we can grow as a channel to provide you with better content and make us significantly better at providing it. Bojazz in chat. It's me, the newcomer. Absolutely. My buddy here, Bojazz, in the chat. We've played a demo game. Absolutely loves it. His favorite part is throwing cars at people. It's honestly one of the coolest part of this game, interacting with all of the terrain. So we're getting started. Lu had priority, or has priority, which means he'll get to activate first. With the 3 characters on the other side of the board, it's unlikely that he will get priority very easily. However, Black Order is very killy, so it might probably come back to him sooner rather than later. Honey Badger drops down first. So it's a very typical play with Black Order players if they have priority, or any roster that has fewer models than their opponent, is taking the first turn pass. See what your opponent does, see where they go, and see how easy it's going to be for you to interact with them after it goes. Looking at Team Tactics cards, I'm going to actually turn on the stream review here. Perfect. So, Team Tactics cards, let's have a look here. We'll start with Lu. Brace for Impact, Exceptional Healing, No Matter the Cost, Dossier, and Are You Sure You Want to Remember? Dossier is going to be very interesting here because I don't think Kazo has a really easy choice. I feel like the choice would be Mystique just because she doesn't allow... Actually, I don't know who the easy choice would be. This is going to be interesting. I'm interested to see who Kazo puts the Dossier on when it's played. Brace for Impact is an interesting choice. Obviously would be very good in a certain matchup with lots of throws. Kazo doesn't actually have any throws. So this is going to be a little bit, it's going to be a moot card, unfortunately. Kazo, on the other hand, has Recalibration Matrix, Fallback, Deception, Patch Up, and Mothership. Mothership's going to allow either Thanos or Corvus to get across the board nice and quickly. Patch Up is going to keep those big characters like Thanos and Corvus very healthy. Deception's going to be great at pulling an unaware character out of position. And then Fallback is a nice defensive card as well. Checking into the chat, only 3 model roster. Is this a smaller game or are they just expensive? Thanos is very expensive. He's a 6 threat model, but he can take 2 gems, up to 2 gems, and he only has the 1 on him, so he's 7 threat. Corvus is normally a 4, but he also has a gem, which increases his threat to 5, so that's going to be 12 points right off the bat, and Mystique is 3 for 15. The mission we are playing is Gamma Waves, which is only a 15 threat mission. So it's kind of a combo of both. 15 is the lowest threat that we can currently play in the game, and Thanos is taking up almost half of it by himself. Matt, only 15 threat. Matt is answering the questions in chat. Thank you, Matt. I've got a bit of a minute delay. I'm trying to catch up. I should probably read before I answer with his 2 Infinity Gems. Yeah, Thanos is very beefy. I think we have a very strong chance here of watching Thanos potentially take over this game. Yeah, Thanos has the Mind Gem, so he's got the Cosmic Portal to teleport his own people up. That's a superpower here. I'll bring him up on screen. So the Cosmic Portal is a 2-cost superpower. Choose another character within range 4. Place the chosen character within range 2 of its current position. So he can use this on friends or foes. And the Mind Gem normally costs 2 power, but Thanos gets to use it for free. Choose an enemy character within range 3 and advance it small. So he can effectively pick someone who's already moved onto an objective and move them away. This could be very important for keeping Hulk out of the fight. Now, I don't think we've actually seen Thanos Black Order on the channel, so it's worth talking about his affiliation ability. When an enemy character is KO'd, this character's controlling player scores 1 victory point. Now you understand why Thanos likes to play slower missions. So Gamma Waves is usually very, very good. All of his missions were nice and slow, allowing you to just kill your opponent. The more you kill, the more victory points you get. So effectively, Luke has 4 victory points that he can give up to Thanos. And if you want to see who the killiest model in the game is, it's Corvus Glaive. The Reality Gem allows him to count a single skull in any roll as a critical, which means it then explodes and counts as a success itself. He also has Glaive's Edge as a superpower, which allows him to count blanks in his attack roll, which means whenever he's attacking, the only things he doesn't want to see is a shield and more than 1 skull. So effectively, he rolls 5 dice. He's going to be doing at least 5 damage with a pierce. He's a very, very scary character. So we're getting into the pre-game ritual of assigning team tactics cards. Are You Sure You Want to Remember gets put onto X23. Personally, I love that choice. I think X23 is a great choice. She's very defensive. She has a lot of defensive tech. You want to keep her nice and safe. Logan likes to go off on his own. He can play it, but we don't see that too often. And now we're seeing where the dossier is going. So the dossier has to be played. Oh no, I guess X23 can play it if she wants to. So either Logan or X23 is going to play it, and now I'm very interested to see where this dossier goes from Kazo. So Logan is playing the dossier, and he accidentally picked up a cube. he just realized that. So they're going to reset the objectives there. There we go. Okay, so then the dossier token, and let's see where he decides it's going to go. I think Thanos might be a good choice just because he's naturally very tanky. I don't know if that's the right choice. My instinct says Mystique, just because if you're going to commit to Mystique, I think that's okay. You're okay with Mystique going down, but Corvus and Thanos, you really want to have them be deprioritized. So it looks like Kazo is putting it onto Mystique. Mystique can play relatively safe. I'm going to expect his first turn with Mystique to go and pick up this Cosmic Cube Fragment and then probably dash back over to this Gamma Shelter. That's probably what she's going to do. She'll stay nice and safe. That way, if Logan wants it, he's going to have to overcommit to get to that Mystique. Matt Smith. Under Thanos, if you're at 15 victory points and you KO someone during your turn, does the game immediately end, or do you still have to wait until cleanup? It's as soon as you hit 16, you win. First player to 16, so it can happen. First activation of round 5, hypothetically. It would end the game straight away. All right, so we're getting right into it. Lou has taken the first activation. He is moving up with X23, picking up the cube, which is going to cause a damage to X23 during the cleanup phase, but as long as she goes nice and early in the next turn, then she will be able to heal that up. But it is worth playing a little bit more cagey here, which I believe it looks like he's going to be doing. Also worth noting that gem bearers, you might see there, gain an extra power. For every gem that you are holding, you gain an extra power in the power phase. Thanos can normally hold 2 gems, which means he would normally be getting 3 power, but we're seeing a 1 gem Thanos. So Kazo is going to take his first activation, and it looks like he is doing what he was pre-measuring during deployment. I'm not psychic. I am just dealing with... I was looking at the information, so he's moving up, picking up the cube, and then is likely going to move back to his back point to free up Thanos and Corvus to move on up the table. As long as you are within range 1, you are securing the objective, but as long as you are within range 2, you're also not going to take any damage from the shelter. Or take any damage, you have to be within range 2 to not take damage. If you are within range 2, then you don't take damage from the mission. Now, Mystique also has stealth, which isn't going to be too important in this game. Lou doesn't have any attacks that are outside of range 3, but this is obviously a fantastic ability to have on a character that you want to just use as an objective runner. Mystique has a long movement and a range 3 rapid fire pistol. She can be very deadly. Okay. We are seeing a bit of a visual glitch on the overlay. We see that X23 is activated. Unfortunately, the players aren't seeing the activated token show up on their card. So we're going to be going with Hulk here, who is going to start with a Gamma Leap. Okay. Gamma Leap allows him to spend 3 power and move up, and I think he's just looking to control the middle point. So he's just moving, but he has an action. And he's trying to. You don't have power. Oh, he's just putting it back. Okay. So Hulk Gamma Leaps, moves up to the center point and has a second action to do, but he's got really nothing to do with it. And that's going to allow him to sit on the central point. Now, that does give Thanos someone to mind gem away. I think we'll be able to see just how effective Thanos can be at keeping someone out of the fight. I think the players might be discussing the order here. So he spent the 3 power to Gamma Leap and then moved onto the point. So he has a spare action. What Lou could have done is he could have just double moved to the center point and picked up the cube. The players might be discussing this as like, okay, this is something that you absolutely could have done. This is a very communal game. Players are usually very friendly, and having those moments to discuss what action could have been done. So I think Lou is just okay. Lou takes his second action and just moved back to the back point. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not gonna dawn too much on it. So Hulk is has spent 3 power and did 1 move. He's just donating his power to the cause, I guess. So Thanos is now looking to activate. Now Thanos can still probably, what he's doing, he's measuring now. Thanos can move up, do a cosmic portal to bring Corvus up into the fray, get Corvus into the fight nice and early. Corvus has so much potential of explosion. I mentioned Glaive's Edge, and I mentioned the Reality Gem. What I didn't mention was the Death Blow attack. It is a range 3, 7 dice, 4 power attack that has a flurry. Now, flurry allows him to make a strike attack, and it doesn't specify against whom, so he can attack multiple people with the same action. And it also allows him to move medium. So when he's got the power to do a Glaive's Edge into a Death Blow, it really can turn into an explosive turn. Corvus is usually the workhorse of a Black Order roster. So we're measuring range 5. I'm not sure why we're measuring range 5, but we're measuring range 5 from Hulk. I wonder if range 5 is somewhat equivalent to a small move into range 2 move into be able to be punching Thanos. Or maybe Kazo is just... No, I said I wasn't going to focus on it. Never mind. Maybe Kazo is just... He's trying to figure out... It's like, oh, what's Lou doing? What's Lou doing? He's trying to mind game me here. He's just living up to the second half of his name. What a lunatic. The recalibration matrix is going to be an interesting card here because as we've seen on this channel, Logan can get some very, very spiky rolls, and if Logan spikes against a character that has a lot of power, let's say Corvus, let's say Thanos, playing recalibration matrix allows him to reroll everything. But it happens at a very specific time. It happens at the end of the modified dice step, which means that all positive rerolls, so like all offensive rerolls, all defensive rerolls that a player has access to would happen first, and then recalibration matrix would play. Basically, so then it's just a 1 roll off per player. Crits don't explode, no other rerolls. It's a really good way of helping to either get around a spike or to so if your opponent's attacking you and they spike, you can turn that off, or if your opponent rolls really, really well and you roll kind of naff, you can force the reroll there. Very good card. Came into prominence when the banned and restricted list got updated after the rotation. We are taking our time to think about this. Thanos is really, really considering his options. Bojazz in chat, they're certainly mind gaming me. Absolutely. I'm actually normally during the game I create like a little mental note of things that I want to ask the players after the game if I were to have that opportunity. And we didn't get too far into this game before I got something. So Thanos has moved up. He's ended his move there. He's outside of range 4 of Hulk, which is very important because that is the range that he can use Cosmic Portal. Mind Gem is range 3. So that means he is just outside of range to be able to influence the Hulk with the Cosmic Portal. Thanos also does not have enough power to interact with the cube as well as to move Hulk, so he has to make a choice here. This is one of the disadvantages of running such a low model count roster, is every choice matters. Same can be said of wide rosters and making sure that you're playing very purposefully. But I feel like when you've got wider rosters and more models on the board, you can afford to make at least 1 or 2 positional mistakes. With low model counts such as Black Order, you can't afford to make those mistakes. Every position matters, the order of your activation matters, and what these characters do matters as well. So Thanos is just going to be moving up. It looks like he's spending 2 for a Cosmic Portal, and he's going to be placing Hulk within range 2. And he's putting him right onto the center point. So Thanos doesn't have any actions left. Oh, now he's using the Mind Gem. Okay. Okay, so I think what Corvus is... so Hulk is being put right into the back line here. It's going to be outside of range 2, which means the Corvus does still have to move. The goal here is to put as much damage onto Hulk as possible straight away. Now, this is best case scenario for Luke, I think. Because I think he missed... Oh, now he's playing Deception. Oh, okay. So Deception is a Team Tactics card that Mystique can play. And he's already flipped the card over. So allow me to pull up the Crit Wild app. Free advert, you're more than welcome. I'm not going to take credit. Crit Wild is my favorite app. I've been using it exclusively for the last little while. It gets updated very regularly, especially when new models get teased. So let's go and have a look at Deception. It's a very cool card. It's Mystique only, but it's unaffiliated, which means that you can put Mystique into any roster and you can bring this card. So let's see what Deception says. I know roughly what it says. I just want to read it. So Mystique may play this card. Choose an enemy character within range 4 of this character, so Hulk. If there are no other non-dazed enemy characters within range 2 of the chosen character, which they're not because Hulk is well on his own, you may advance the character its speed towards this character. So Hulk may be advanced small, because that is Hulk's speed, towards Mystique. Now, advances can go through characters, so as you're seeing here, Hulk is literally being pulled through Mystique. The goal here is that Corvus is just going to stand still and double punch Hulk. This is going to be made especially scarier because Kazo is going to have priority because he only has 1 activation left. The Lunatic has 2. So this means that Corvus is going to get to attack Hulk 4 times before he gets to respond. There are no cards that the Lunatic can play here to mitigate what's about to happen. So I think he's identifying the only thing he can really do is start playing the objectives. But a lot was committed there. Kazo has committed a lot to pulling Hulk out of position. It's a big gambit. It has to work here because if Hulk doesn't go down, Hulk is probably going to have a good amount of damage and is going to have a super strong clapback. But I'm excited to see what happens. So Logan's going to be going. His first action is to go and pick up the objective, and then he has a second action here. He's just measuring the range of Thanos here. I don't think he has to worry too much about it because, like I mentioned, it's been put into such a position that Hulk literally needs to be completely destroyed this turn. So Logan kind of has free agency to go where he wants. He's playing a little cagey here, but yeah, I could be entirely wrong. I hope I'm entirely wrong. I like being wrong. It means I can learn things. Now, what's interesting is this entire play as I was mentioning, it cost Kazo a lot of resources. Thanos only has 2 power, which he spent to not score any points, but to pull Hulk out of position. He then played Deception. Deception is obviously a very, very fantastic card. You can pull a character well out of position, like we've seen with Hulk. I'm not sure if Hulk is normally the correct play in this type of game, but we'll see. But a lot of resources was spent, and assuming that Corvus is just going to double punch into Hulk, he is probably not going to go and interact with any mission, any point here. So that means that the only points that Kazo is going to score this turn are going to be the cube that Mystique is holding and the back Gamma Shelter. So he's only going to be scoring the 2. Okay. Logan picks up the cube and moves to his back shelter. Again, a little bit suspicious, a little bit scared of Thanos, leaving Hulk kind of on his own, which plays a little bit into Kazo's plan right here. So here we go. It's going to be 5 dice physical from Corvus. He can't spend anything for this, so it's just going to be 5 dice with a pierce into the 4 of Hulk. And we see the reality gem kick. That counts as a critical, so he gets to roll that in. So it's 3 successes with a pierce so far into 4 successes. Now Hulk is blocking 3 currently, which is going to get pierced down to 2. So that's going to be 2 points of damage onto Hulk. That's going to be 2 power for Corvus, which will allow him to either do a death blow or a glaive's edge. Now, death blow is very, very tempting because you might get the flurry, you might do a little bit more damage, and the movement is kind of nice. But if you're looking pound for pound for the strongest attack, the most consistent attack, it's going to be glaive's edge. So we're spending 3 power here from Corvus for Glaive's Edge. That means he gets to do another 5 dice physical attack, this time counting blanks. So 5 dice physical going in to Hulk, who again has 4 dice. And as you can see, okay, this right here. He gets the critical. That's 5 successes with a pierce. That's 6 successes with a pierce. He's only blocking the 2 currently, which is going to get pierced down to 1. So that means that he is going to be taking 5 points of damage. He doesn't have the power for Hulk Not Puny Banner, so that means he's just going to be taking that 5 points of damage. So, and Corvus is going to gain that 5 power there. Now this is where this kind of goes back to what I was saying here. That's Corvus done. He's going to have priority next turn, and you know that Corvus is just going to double tap again. Hulk needs to take 13 points of damage, or he's going to have all of the dice he possibly needs. We just have Honey Badger left to go, so it doesn't really matter where we're going here. Honey Badger can't interact with the objectives, but where she decides to go in order to get into Too Dangerous to Ignore, Ankle Biter range. Okay, that's round 1. It is going to be 3-2. Very low scoring game. But it might get a ton more scary here. Okay, alright, so priority has been done. Sorry, not priority, but now we're going to be... Priority passes to Kazo. Kazo gets the first action. What's he going to do? I'm interested to see. I think Thanos might be within range 4 there. He's got an ability called Death's Decree. I'll read that out for you. When another allied character within range 4 of this character targets an enemy with an attack, this character may use the superpower. If the attacking character is healthy, it adds 2 dice to the attack roll. If the attacking character is injured, it adds 4 dice to its attack roll. The superpower can only be used once per turn. So Thanos can buff an allied's dice for a single attack, which can be enough to put that damage over the edge. So I'm interested to see what Kazo does here. He's got a couple of options. It looked like he was measuring a mothership play, which would allow Corvus to hop off of Thanos and maybe access this back line. But again, that's not addressing the elephant in the room or the Hulk in the room. Corvus has 8 power. Woof. 8 power. So that means he does have enough for the Glaive's Edge Death Blow if he wants to really go into it. And again, Thanos has the power for a Death's Decree. I think that's range 4. I didn't get a chance to actually see it. It looks close. This is a very important turn because Corvus really does need to go into him. So he's using a Glaive's Edge, just a 5 dice strike, counting blanks, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes right there. Gets to count the crit. He did get the pierce again. He's going to be piercing 1, so Hulk will be blocking 2, and Corvus will be dealing 4. So that's going to be 2 points of damage going through on Hulk. He might spend 4 for Hulk Not Puny Banner here, which will allow him to reroll any of the dice, so he'll get to reroll those 2 hits. This is not what you want to see as Kazo, I don't think. He blocks another one, so that's 4 blocked, down to 3. He's only going to take a single point of damage. Ooh, I'm a little nervous here. Corvus needs to do 12 points of damage to get rid of this Hulk. This Hulk already has 2 extra dice on his attack. This could be very scary. So I think Corvus, he doesn't have the power for a Deathblow Glaive's Edge. He only has 6 power. So now he has to make a choice. Is he just going to do another Glaive's Edge strike into Hulk? Unlikely to do all the damage. He is. He spent 3. But he's looking at Death's Decree. He spent the 2 power off of Thanos, so Thanos cannot Mind Gem anyone this turn, but he is now going to be rolling 7 dice. So, 7 dice physical, counting blanks. And there's a critical in there as well, so that's a full 7 successes. 1 critical goes in. So that's 8 successes with a pierce. So now you can kind of see where Corvus, he does a lot of heavy lifting. That's 8 successes. It's not going to be enough to kill the Hulk this turn, so Hulk is going to have a lot to say. But he is spending for Hulk Not Puny Banner, which means he gets to reroll anything if he wants, so he's going to reroll the 2. One of these is getting pierced anyway, so Hulk is taking a ton of damage. He's blocking 3. Good roll. So he blocks 2. He's only going to take 6. But that's going to put Hulk into danger range, and it's also going to give Hulk another dice for his attacks. So he's at 14 out of 20. Hulk is juiced, and that's Corvus done. That's Corvus done. And he's out of range 1 of the Gamma Shelter. This gives Hulk full agency on this backline. Full agency. That is a scary Hulk. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for Kazo. Now Hulk has a couple of options here. He has plenty of options. I know what I would do. And I know what other players, you could play for the objectives, you could move, go cube fragments and run away, and basically make it so that Hulk has to be killed here. There's a Mystique right there with an objective. You could just punch her in the face. That drops 2 points, and now all of a sudden, if Kazo wants to hold this point, he has to run back with Thanos. Thanos has no power, so Thanos is going to have to move regardless of anything. This is going to be an interesting turn. Sometimes the best defense is a strong offense. Corey, thanks for joining us in chat. Just tuning in. This is interesting. Haven't seen old style BO for a while. That's right. We've had the Corvus BO has been making its rounds. It's a new thing. Everyone's trying to figure it all out. But Thanos is the OG. Thanos is the big bad. So I guess we're just trying to figure out what Hulk is going to do here, and it looks like he wants to go and get the cube first. So he is Gamma Leaping, and then spending 1 to pick up the cube. Is he within range 3 of Mystique, or range 2 of Mystique there? He's not going to punch Thanos, is he? Oh. He always Hulk smashing. Okay, so he's going to Hulk smash, which is going to be 11 dice physical into Thanos. Never mind, he's gaining all that power back. What are we doing here? So we've Gamma Leapt. The Hulk smash or the throw option, strongest one there is, and getting Thanos, maybe tossing him into Mystique seems like a good idea. I think I probably would have punched Mystique first or thrown Mystique first. What do you do? Oh, we're doing a Hulk smash. Okay, we're gonna do a big old Hulk smash into Thanos. Yeah, Thanos only rolls 3 defense dice, but he has an innate reduction. So Thanos is going to be blocking 2, reducing another one, so blocking 3, and that is going to be 7. So Thanos will take 4. Pretty good. Pretty good. He rolls the Wild, which is a stagger onto Thanos. Very important. But it's also a throw. So he can throw Thanos small. I don't like the idea of giving Thanos power here. I think moving away and basically making him move is enough of a stagger. Thanos can get a lot of stuff done as well. Okay, so the Wild gives stagger, and then it's a throw before damage is dealt. Yeah, he's outside of range 2 of Mystique. Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to be the case. But Thanos gets to be thrown small here. It looks like he's probably going to get thrown into Mystique. Mystique gets 3 dice, and Thanos is size 3, so that's going to be 4 incoming damage. Or she's going to throw him into Nowhereville. Thanos doesn't take. Thanos won't take a damage here. Because of being of immeasurable power. So I'm wondering if his opponent is going to let him know that that's the fact and then let him change his throw, because throwing Thanos into the lamppost here doesn't do anything. So I feel like the correct play is throwing him into Mystique. Unless he was placed in such a way that he couldn't. I think they're kind of just debating the placement. Now, this this frame is actually kind of interesting. There does look to be an angle where he can be thrown and hit Mystique there. Obviously, the players are kind of figuring that out. And maybe he's not throwing. Maybe he's just doing it again. He didn't have the power for it, did he? He's doing a second Hulk smash. Okay. Okay. Thanos is blocking nothing, so 1 reduction. 1 reduction into 5 successes. That's 4 damage. 5 damage. That's a dazed Thanos. He didn't get the Wild this time, which is okay. He doesn't get to do the throw, but that is going to be a dazed Thanos. That's quite scary. That's quite scary for Kazo, because that means he only has 1 activation this turn, and that's Mystique. And Logan just got his eyes on the prize there. But that's going to also be very, very scary for Lu later on. That's a fully juiced Thanos. Thanos has an ability, or has an attack that allows him to spend power to add dice to it. So he's going to spend a power. Eventually, sorry, he's going to spend... He should have spent power for a Hulk smash there as well. But so Hulk started the turn with 9 power. Gamma leapt for 3 down to 6. Hulk smash costs 4. I'm probably missing something here. But I feel like he couldn't have been able to Hulk smash twice. You know what? I should be taking notes. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person. Please, no one agree with me. Okay, so he's catching the power here, or they might be catching it. No. Okay. So the first point is going to be Hulk first move, and then second point will be Hulk double smash. Because he has 14 damage on him, which means he's only getting 3 dice, and even his builder would only go up to 10. He did actively roll 11 dice both times, and he got a stagger on the second one. Yeah, okay. So I think there may have been a misplay there. Okay, so Kazo only has Mystique left. He could pass because his opponent, because Lu has 3 activations to go. But if he passes, he runs the risk of Logan running up the table and jumping straight into Mystique range. If he goes, his only action, his only real choice is to get rid of the Hulk, and he's got a good opportunity to do this. It very interesting point worth mentioning. I just remembered it. Thanos. Charlie, how did he double Hulk smash and Gamma Leap? That's 11. I 100% with you there, Charlie. I think that there was a misplay in the power. He started the round at 9 power. Gamma leapt first and then double Hulk smashed. I don't think that that's entirely right. Hulk has now. Yeah, they're trying to. I think they're trying to figure out some stuff with the power now here. I think because Mystique is looking to roll some dice in. Mystique has done a bunch of damage to Hulk there, but something is amiss. But worth mentioning as well is Thanos' leadership actually changes on Thanos' injured side. It is no longer the gain of victory point. Mr. Sheikh David, you're great, not terrible at all. Haha, you fell for my compliment bait. Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate it. No spoilers, but I hear you played an amazing game today, as always. You put a lot of effort in, and the results speak for themselves. But that is a dazed Hulk. That is Mystique doing what she does best. That is a dazed Hulk. And they're doing something. They're doing something quite wrong here. Hulk doesn't actually get removed from the board until the end of the round. So technically speaking, when the cards would flip, Hulk would then be removed because it doesn't. Because Kazo has already gained a victory point here. This is a little bit wrong, I think, because Hulk says specifically if it would flip to stack card to its injured side, it's KO'd instead. So he would gain a daze token. Then he would he'd flip during the cleanup phase, which is also when victory points would be scored. But then that's also when Thanos would flip, and he would lose that ability as well. Maybe rolled one too many for a strike. Maybe, but there was no power gain from the attack either, Corey. And Charlie, yeah, he still has 5 power. Yeah, he does. Lou has played Hulk very odd this game, and I will. Yeah, I don't know what really to make of it. But I am going to put that in. Hulk doesn't remove until cleanup. I'm partially thankful that we are seeing a few of these mistakes because it allows us to learn from them. Hulk has a very unique mechanic with his "You won't like me when I'm angry." It says additionally, when this card would flip to its injured side, it's KO'd instead. So he would gain a daze token once he hits the 20, and he would still be on the table, which wouldn't trigger the victory point from Thanos' healthy side. Once Thanos flips, I actually don't know what it is. I think he gets to. I think Thanos, the ability becomes you can take damage to roll extra dice on your attacks. Shows how often I daze Thanos. Which is ironic because whenever I play Thanos, he dazes way faster. Let's have a look here. During the modified dice step of an attack, an allied character may suffer up to 3 damage. For each damage, you may re-roll one of its attack dice. Objectively worse than adding dice. The rerolls are still nice, but like you're spending health for a maybe. But that is Mystique done. Who are we going with? X23 moves up to the center point, so that's going to secure an extra victory point. Secures the middle point finally as well. Logan is now going to go. You know what I find extremely interesting? Lou played very cagey around a healthy Thanos that had no power. But now that Thanos is dazed, with 8 power, he's harmless. He's not about to flip and come back and murder me. He's harmless. This actually makes things very difficult for Lou now because that's a fully juiced Corvus without an objective. That's a fully juiced Thanos. Thanos, I feel like the first play next turn is going to be a mothership to bring Corvus to the fore. He's gonna do. He's then gonna still have 7 power for a Glaive's Edge Death Blow, and he's gonna have his pick of the litter. The Thanos teleporting Corvus up is going to be brutal. I think there's going to be a lot of death next turn. Yeah, Logan moving up, not within range 3 of Thanos, probably just outside of range 4. I wasn't paying attention. And then Honey Badger, what's Honey Badger going to do? I think the smart play should be to get Honey Badger within range 1 and 2 of Thanos, just to play kind of play spoiler to the impending mothership play. Yeah, smart. That is a round 2 Hulk KO. Now I know Corey was in the chat earlier, but Corey, would you Hulk getting KO'd in the second round? That sounds a little bit too familiar, doesn't it? Corey and I played a couple of games in quick succession one night, and I'm pretty sure we each took it in turns to play Hulk, and in both games, Hulk got KO'd in round 2. He played. Who are you playing? You were playing Asgard the one game, and then I played Avengers, and then I played Guardians. I can't remember who we were playing, but I remember Hulk going down way faster than Hulk ever should. So that is going to be the end of the round. That is now 8-6 to the Lunatic. Thanos no longer grants victory points on KOing characters. That doesn't mean he's going to stop trying to KO characters. Thanos is going to be pretty scary, buffing up Corvus, buffing up Mystique, and that is a fully healthy Corvus as well. That is that's not exciting. Cube damage comes through, as well as the power that's associated with it. That puts Mystique on to 3, because Mystique now also has 2 cubes. So priority moving back over to Kazo. Kazo's gonna have a pretty crazy turn here, I think. That positioning, so that positioning on Honey Badger is really good because there's no room for Corvus to land right here. So Corvus almost has to come over here and then try his best to reach X-23. Honey Badger has the power to take it, but either way, a Death Blow Glaive's Edge is going to give him a medium move. I don't fancy Honey Badger lasting through that attack, so he'll be able to move in and then punch X-23. Corey, don't even take So you do remember. Good. Excellent. And Corvus and Thanos are spending 2 power. Pray tell for why? Could it be Mothership? 2 Black Order characters may both spend 2 powers each to play this card. Place one of the 2 characters not holding an objective token within range 1 of the other. So that means that Thanos gets to be picked up, or Thanos gets to pick up Corvus and place him within range 1. Ooh, there is room. I was wrong. Corvus says hi. He's just turning Honey Badger to stare him down. Okay, so Honey Badger has the power to be able to at least take the first hit, which is going to be important because X-23 is very dazable right now. Logan is quite dazable as well. Exceptional Healing is online. So, okay, so that's Thanos spending 2 for a Death's Decree. That is Corvus spending 3 for a Glaive's Edge. Is he deciding what else to do here? What do we have here? Asgard, my Angela murdered. You killed mine with Domino incinerating and something else. Ah, yes, it was Angela. Angela got her big ol' Heaven's Wrath cleave. I killed you with Ronan. I remember that. You were judged, and you got Ronan in the face. Oh, and then I hit you with I Am Groot. It was a combination between Ronan and Groot. So it took 7 threat to kill your 6. Okay, so we're spending a memory token. I don't know who we're attacking. I'm going to assume it's Honey Badger. It looks like it's just into Honey Badger, because there was no difficult to ignore or ankle biter. But this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Corvus. With a pierce again, very good. 3 blocks, so that's only going to be 2 damage, or 2 blocks. So that is going to be 3 damage going through. No reroll has been done, so this has to be into Honey Badger. Should be 3 damage. Oh, no, there is a reroll. This is going into X23. He blocks another one, so that's 4 with a pierce, so 3 from the 5 for 2 damage. So X23 lives with 1. Why wouldn't Honey Badger block that? Oh, that's another thing to ask. This list is this. You know what? I'm just going to assume that I'm a noob here. There are some greater things afoot. He's playing exceptional healing. Okay. Why not take hit on Honey Badger? Okay, so that's the first attack from Corvus. I'm going to assume that a second is coming in. He was 6 down to... Oh, I think he's just doing a death blow here. And we're spending another memory token. This has to be on Honey Badger, right? There's no way this isn't. So that's going to be 4 with a pierce. He's getting all of the pierces. So 4. It's a reroll. It's X23 again. Is X23 dazing here? Okay. So just so there's a little bit of... Oh, what happened there? Something happened with my stream review. It is now halfway down the screen. Oh! I didn't know I could do that. All right. So I just want to highlight. I think I've brought this up on stream before. Honey Badger has an ability called Too Dangerous to Ignore. It costs 2 power. When an enemy character within range 2 of this character targets another allied character with an attack, this character may use the superpower. The character becomes the target of the attack regardless of range and line of sight. So within range 2. There's Honey Badger. There's Corvus. It's within range 2. X23 being alive here, especially with 2 objectives, is far more important than Honey Badger. Because Honey Badger is lowering the defense of these 2 characters. Yes, absolutely. But now you force Logan to have to do all of the work here. Logan has to overachieve on Corvus. Charlie, this game is wild. Absolutely, it is. I don't want to say that like. I don't want to say like I know what's right. I know what's wrong. I don't know. I can't put myself into the position of these players. But what we're seeing and what I would expect to happen are 2 completely different things. And this is the best type of game because I have no idea what's going to happen next. But Logan's got a heavy task ahead of him. He's going to have to severely overachieve. It is kind of worth knowing that Mystique is going to daze at the end of this turn during the cleanup phase because she has 2 cubes. She's going to take 2 damage and daze. The mission used to say that you would take damage in the power phase, which means that you'd be dazed and then for the round you'd be gone. Now it's during the cleanup. So Logan is going into Corvus and Logan gets 1 success. Corvus... Okay, Corvus doesn't block anything, so 1 damage goes through. Wicked. But that is then going to allow Logan to place within range 1 of Corvus, and I think that's a little too far. That's very far. There we go. I think what's going on here? The tool does not like this. Yeah, the tool really doesn't like this banner. But regardless, I think the goal here is he's going to go within range 3 and try and punk Mystique here. You know what? This is a decent play. This is a decent play because now he can do what I do isn't very nice or best at what I do. Get the throw off. He just needs to get him. That's 2 cubes down, and then he can hold this. This could be a 5-point swing. So and he gets to reroll everything because Mystique is holding the dossier as well. So the likelihood of this happening, the likelihood of this killing Mystique is pretty high. I think he just spent for a... Oh, he's tornado clawing. Interesting. Oh, he's trying to absolutely guarantee the kill here onto Mystique. Mystique blocks 2. That's 3 with a pierce, so that's at least 1 damage. But we're gonna get the dossier rerolls. Dossier reroll is just a static ability, so Mystique, yeah, so it's going to be 4. He just needs to roll 1 extra here, and Mystique is going to daze. I think it's just explaining the Dossier here. Burying exception here is concerning for Luke. Burning exceptional healing here is concerning for Luke. Now he at least has priority. Yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't think about gaining the priority, but he's about to take it right back from dazing Mystique here. We've seen Logan overachieve before. We absolutely have, and I'm not going to call this an overachieving turn. This is a good turn. Thanos is juiced and standing right by, so this could be a 5-point swing if Logan is able to. If Logan is able to handle Thanos here. I'm pretty sure Corvus also rolled 3 defense dice earlier. It should have been 1 because of Honey Badger. I think we've just completely forgotten that Honey Badger is a thing. Just move Honey Badger up. Yeah, she doesn't matter. I forget Honey Badger is a thing all the time. So the objectives are going to be placed. And Logan's spending the 1 power he had because he used a Tornado Claw. I think the Tornado Claw was a bit of a mistake. I think if he had just used his regular attack, he had full rerolls. It was very likely he was going to be dazing Mystique, especially if he had spent 3 for what I do isn't very I'm the best at what I do. What I do isn't very nice. I'm the best at what I do is the other Wolverine. So he could have done that. He only needed to squeak 1 damage through, and then the throw would have finished her off. In which case he could have picked up both of the cubes. I'm going to write that down as well. Tornado Claw versus what I do isn't very nice. I'm writing that as an acronym. So I've got to ask Lou later on why he chose Tornado Claw or instead of Wittevin. I hope that my brain allows me to remember what that acronym means later. So Thanos is going. Thanos is moving up. Thanos is getting into a position to roll a butt ton of dice at Logan. The strike comes with a throw. His energy attack comes with a push. Both of them are gated behind a wild. He's been rolling a lot of wilds on his Pierce attacks, so he is really looking for this as well. He does also have the Mind Gem on standby if he doesn't get either of those. But this could actually be really, really scary because if Logan goes down here, and as Lucas said in the chat here, exceptional healing is down. If Logan goes down, that's all five cosmic cubes in the possession of Kazo. That could be a 6-point swing in that favor. So I'm a little nervous. Good nervous. I'm good nervous. You know what? I got an interesting question for the chat. Since we've just had the discussion about Honey Badger rules being forgotten, what's one rule that you always forget? Whether it's a character with an ability you always forget, or like a certain part of a team tactics card you forget, or just a certain part of like a crisis. What's one rule that for some reason you just can't remember? I'd love to see what you guys come up with because I have difficulty remembering things like like Honey Badger effect. But it's difficult. It's difficult to remember. Okay, so 2 dice went into Logan. It looks like he is using the Mind Gem. Now, Logan could have got a small advance off of that because I think a memory token was spent. So I'm interested to know what the ordering is. I think Logan's just going to move back. The player with priority chooses the order, I believe. So I think he's letting the advance move first, and then Thanos can Mind Gem. Oh, wait, what am I saying? He didn't roll a wild. The Mind Gem is a separate thing. So Logan gets his advance first, and then we're going to see Thanos use the Mind Gem. So it's good that Logan didn't go down. It's not going to be as big of a point swing. Lou is going to still maintain the point lead, is he? He'll have 2. And then he's going to hold 1, 2, 3. 4 to 2. It's actually going to tie it up. Unless Honey Badger overachieves. Come on, Honey Badger. You can do it. Oh yeah, the dossier got dropped. He didn't have the power to pick that up. Oh my lord. Why? Tornado Claw versus, and then in brackets, dossier. I didn't even remember the dossier. And normally I've got nothing but good things to say about the dossier. What is going on? Okay, I think we're replacing the dossier and the cube. Oh, I think the cube is staying over here, but the dossier needed to be dropped. Matt, superpowers that give you a power on certain rolls, like blanks for Mysterio or skulls for Voodoo. Good call. Scientific hubris for Dr. Octopus as well. Actually, that one's easy to remember because Doc Ock doesn't do a whole lot usually. But yeah, things like blanks for Mysterio, skulls for Voodoo, things that you're not thinking about because you're looking for other effects. You're looking for the sap power on Voodoo. You're looking just to do damage for Mysterio to trigger the movement. But remembering those triggers, that's a really good one, Matt. So now we're doing Thanos' Mind Gem to get Logan out of dodge. So now we just have Honey Badger. So Honey Badger is just going to punch, right? Corey says, Domino being a living hex, I find people forget. Yeah, honestly, it's a big thing. You can't roll crits against her and Black Cat. Black Cat, what is Black Cat's? You can't modify dice against her, which again, it's just we don't see Black Cat a whole too much, but Domino is a good one. Yeah, just a living hex. You can't reroll. You can't explode crits against her if she's attacking you or if you are attacking her. She's just lucky, I guess. Is the dossier another rule you have trouble remembering? I always remember the dossier. I remember what the dossier rules are. I often just get too excited and remembering who played the dossier to get all the rules. While this is finishing off, there is actually I have some very very exciting news that was just posted in our Lovable Misfits Discord. If we haven't already mentioned it, I think it's July 21st. You know what? I'm such an amateur. Let me go and get the actual dates for you. July 22nd and July 23rd of this year, London, we are going to be hosting the Forest City Classic. This is something that Lovable Misfits has been working towards, and actually, I'm not going to take any more credit for it. Our buddy Todd has been running it. He's really wanted to run a sort of a large style event for London to really get this game up and running. It's going to be aimed almost exclusively initially at Marvel Crisis Protocol, with the goal of being able to expand later on. And we just got confirmation that the Forest City Classic is going to be an LVO qualifier, which is huge, absolutely huge. That means that the winners of this event can earn points to then officially get an invite to the Las Vegas Open, which is one of those kind of like those beacons, those holy places of gaming tournaments. If you've never been to a large con, you gotta go. You've absolutely gotta go. And the Forest City Classic that we're running this year in the summer is officially a qualifier. Super exciting. I'm so pumped. I'll be there helping to run the event. Obviously, Todd is going to he's the main man in front of it. But I'm just super pumped to be a part of it, and I'm super happy that we're going to be an official qualifier. So this looks like this is going to be Honey Badger punching into Corvus for, that is 1, 2, 3 blocks into 5, minus reducing damage by 1, so 1 damage. And Honey Badger's going to just do it again. I think she just spent for Hamstring, which will be 5 dice physical again, but this time if it does damage, it's going to do slow and bleed. 3 with a wild. 1 critical going through. If he blocks this, it's only going to be 1 damage. This roll is almost redundant. So another 1 damage onto Corvus, which means he's only going to have 1 health at the start of next turn because of those cubes. Charlie says rocket booby traps, but it kind of sucks, so it's chill. you, you know what? It's one of those abilities that you forget, and then the turn you remember, you roll it and you roll nothing, and then you're like, oh, now now I remember why I don't remember this. Also, I get Matt brought up Mysterio. Mysterio has something very similar, but it's more appropriate with Mysterio because he gets an extra effect. Rocket just wants to shoot things, so anything that isn't him shooting things is can be, I don't know. You almost don't pay attention to it. I have had booby traps work really, really well in my favor, but they're few and far between. All right, what are we measuring now? I think. Oh, because he got the wild, Honey Badger is triggering elusive, which allows her to move medium. And it looks like he's just going to be placing within range 2 of Thanos and within range 1 of Corvus. Now, Corvus is bleeding as well as slowed. That is not going to. He's not going to care too much. He's in a really good spot. What he is going to care about, though, is that he's going to take 2 damage and is bleeding and effectively needs to shake the bleed, or Kazo is going to have to look into activating somebody else first to trigger patch up. So that's the end of the round. Kazo goes up to 11, Lou goes up to 10. And this is going to be a very, very, very scary turn for Kazo here. I think the game is going to end this round. I think the cubes are all in a very scary spot for both players. I think however Kazo decides to use priority is going to be very, very important. Especially with Logan taking 3 damage. He's outside of range 2 of the Gamma Shelter, and he has 2 cubes. He has 3 damage on him. I think it might just be a formality for Logan to go down here, which means that X-23 is going to have to overachieve. But again, it depends on where Kazo wants to go. We could have another explosive turn from Corvus. Corvus could just pop off if he wants to. He has 9 power. He could probably just go on a killing spree and then just drop the cubes far away and force Lou to walk closer to Thanos. I don't know. We'll see. This has been a very, very bloody game, though. Very bloody. We like play. I don't think we've had a tame game on this channel so far. I think every game that we've played has been brutal in one way or another. All right, I think we're going... What are we doing here? This is 6 dice. This looks like Logan rolling. Oh my lord, what is going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? 10 dice? Mystique is using Espionage, which would normally give stun first, but Logan's immune to stun. But this is going to be 10 dice physical. He spent a memory token, and I think Thanos used Death's Decree to add 4 dice. So that's going to be 6 successes going into Logan, and he's only going to be blocking 3. So I think we know what that means. That is a dazed Logan. Now that would have been a really good time to have exceptional healing. So that means that both cubes are being dropped. Mystique is likely going to just pick them up, and I don't like to be that guy, but this just might be the turn where Mystique just runs into a corner. I think Mystique just runs away here. That puts Kazo to a guaranteed 13. I don't think he was in the range of Honey Badger for the shooting, so oh, you know what? This might be a move and patch up. But Kazo has all of the cubes, so he doesn't need to be on any of the points, and he is going to win the game. Matt in chat, crisis that do stuff in the cleanup or power phase 2. Spider infected advancing characters, mutant madman traps going off, and sword based pushing characters gets missed. I completely agree. I think spider infected is the easiest one to forget because it affects both players, and it can be one of those frustrating ones. I find that I remember mutant madman a lot more, and I remember sword a lot more, just because it's something that I want to have happen. I want to push my opponent. I want that extra damage to go through. The one that I have a lot of difficulty remembering isn't necessarily the effect, but it's what is required to roll. So sometimes I can't remember. I have difficulty remembering if you need to roll physical defense, energy defense. Um, I find it difficult to remember that way. So she's only picking up 1 cube so that she can move forward and play patch up onto Corvus and heal that 5 damage. So again, fantastic play. That basically means that X23 needs to overachieve and kill Corvus here. I don't think that there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it, because if Corvus gets to go, Corvus wins the game by himself. So I think X23 has to go here, and I think X23... Oh, he's got fallback as well. Yeah, I think X23 just has to do a claw rush here. Kazo can use fallback and get out of range of Honey Badger for the second attack, but for at least for the first attack, I think we do. I think you just go with a claw rush into Corvus. Because at least then the fallback resolves before damage is done, and then claw rush comes with a medium advance, so you can at least keep up. But Corvus has to die here. Hopefully, yep, that's 2 for a claw rush. Hopefully, Kazo remembers he's only rolling 2 defense dice here. Or hopefully Lu reminds him. So it's going to be 6 dice physical going into 2. That's a pretty good roll. That's too many dice, Kazo. And he's blocking 3. With the skull counting as a critical. Blocking 3, reducing by 1. There is a pierce in there, which is nice. So that's going to reduce that down to 2, reduce 1. So it's only going to be 1 damage. Kazo should only be rolling 1 dice here. Sorry, 2 dice here because of the Honey Badger. Forgot Ankle Biter. Yeah, so I think now he's going to use the medium advance. This is kind of a trick here. I don't think you take the medium move off of this. I think you kind of stay where you're supposed to go, because now there's a spot for Corvus to fall back and go take this point. I think at this point, if Corvus doesn't die, then Kazo wins. I hope he's not going for the dossier. It is far too late for that, my dude. If he goes for the dossier, like, his second action is he's just going to go pick up the dossier, and then Thanos is just going to remove her, and he's going to win the game. Not remove her, like, might not kill her. It's irrelevant at this point. Thanos can just push her into irrelevancy. So we're just doing a... I don't know who we're punching here. 3 dice are being rolled, so I don't know who that's going to be. Could be Thanos, could be Corvus. It's another claw rush. And he's spending 1 power and 1 health for no matter the cost. Interesting. Spending 2 health for it. Okay. And he's rolling 2 dice. He remembered. All right. No blocks. So 1 damage reduction. There we go. There we go. It's 5, 6, 7. Reducing the damage by 1. That's 6 damage. Okay, that's a dazed Corvus. Okay. Huge. Very important. And the reason, the benefit here of him using no matter the cost is that he now gets to trigger Frenzy, which then gives him the extra attack. And if he gets the extra attack, he then has the power to be able to pick up both of those cubes. What are we doing? Recalibration Matrix. He's using Recalibration Matrix, rerolling literally everything. So a really strong roll becomes a really good roll. So that's still 5. He's blocking 1, reducing 1, taking 4. That's still going to be enough to daze Corvus. Yep. 5 down to 4. Oh, no, reduce. Oh, no, never mind. That's 5. Sorry, my apologies. Math is hard. He only takes 3. He only takes 3. The recalibration matrix coming in clutch. And so he doesn't trigger the frenzy. Doesn't trigger anything. So that is unfortunately probably game. I would like to take this moment just to recite the words of some very wise words one of my friends mentioned to me on how the best way to remember all of your rules is going to be. And quite simply, it's just read the card every single time. Read your card through. Every time you're activating your character, read through everything. Make sure you're not forgetting anything, because there are lots of things that can be easily changed, can easily be affected by just reading your card. You remember the rules. We've missed a couple of triggers for Honey Badger to stay alive, or for Honey Badger to do her thing, which could have resulted in Corvus Glaive going down a lot earlier. There's lots of things that you can learn just from reading your card every single time. It's impossible to remember everything. There's too much in this game. So read your cards. And I need to learn. I need to listen to that message as well from time to time, because I often forget what my opponent's rules are. A lot of power just got spent there. Corvus just dropped a ton of power, and Thanos dropped a ton of power. Oh, okay. So we're doing Death Blow, and we're doing Death's Decree. So that's going to be 7 dice up to 9 dice. Yeah, very quick one this time. Yeah, Black Order tends to have very quick games. Models die very quickly. Spending a memory token. So Thanos, that's going to be 5 dice. This is probably going into X23. A little bit of overkill. Nothing there. Corvus looks, Corvus kills. 1. Actually, he doesn't count blanks, does he? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's Honey Badger. Yep. Honey Badger dazes. And that is 100% game. Kazo will be scoring 4 from the points, 1 from over here. All he really needs to do is move medium and then move onto this point, and then that is game. Thanos is probably just going to finish it off with X23 anyway. Why is he moving small? Doesn't he get to move medium over there? Yeah, Deathblow. He gets to move on to medium. He's got the blood in his eyes. He's like, oh, I gotta kill X23. You don't. But it's fun. Always take the fun route. Okay, so Corvus has moved up. He's going to be spending his last 3 power, probably, to do a Glaive's Edge. Targeting X23. He has the memory token. He'll probably spend it. There it is. He's going to roll 5 dice. He's going to roll. They're both going to roll 5 dice. Corvus is counting blanks. Corvus rolls 5. This is what I mean. He rolled an absolutely abhorrent roll, but it's Corvus, and Glaive's Edge. Glaive's Edge is so good. Glaive's Edge is so good. However, that's still 3 blocks with no pierce, so she's only taking 2. And again, free advice. If you run Corvus, if you are running Corvus, Glaive's Edge in your strike, the highest returns. It's so good. Mr. Schick, learn your rules. You better learn your rules. If you don't, you'll be eaten in your sleep. Dwight Schrute. Right. I've never watched the American Office. Unfortunately, I'm one of those hoity-toity snobs that argues that the British one was better. But you can't argue with how successful and how influential the American Office has been on popular TV culture. And that. Yeah, there we go. We're just postulating at this point. Thanos mind gems her away and is going to very cutely double move to try and get onto the points there. Corvus is slow, that's why he had to move slow. Even though it says this character may advance medium, does slow? Sorry, Lucas. As you may have remembered from our when he came on, he's an accuser, so he knows a lot of these rules. So when you're slowed, I believe that when you're performing a move action, you move small. Does that also affect the death blow special rule? So the death blow special rule specifically says medium. My question is, does the slow special condition also affect that? All right, and that's it. That is the game. That went from that was a very weird game. That was a very odd game. I think there were a lot of interesting decisions from both players. Turn one was played very oddly from both players. I think the overinvestment to take out Hulk obviously paid off in the long run. Hulk's obviously turn one was a little odd, but everything else kind of started. The pieces started falling into place. I think turn one was a little very bizarre. I've said the word odd so many times. Very bizarre from both players, but everything started to kind of line up more and more as the game went on. It kind of sucked that Lou had a dead card Embrace, but again, he was expecting certain. I guess he was expecting certain other characters to make their way to the foreground. Corvus is just a beat stick. 7 dice Thanos, or 7 threat Thanos with only 1 gem is still a very, very frustrating piece to deal with because you move, he moves you away. You're off the objective, and especially in this mission, you take a damage. But yeah, interesting. Interesting. I think the mothership play was extremely good. I think there was a lot of opportunities with Honey Badger as we just forgot that Too Dangerous to Ignore would have. Yes, yes, the slow affects any advance. Thank you for the clarification, Lucas. I actually didn't know that. I just assumed that the rule for Death Blow would take precedence. But he was slow, so that's why he moved slow. What was I saying? Yeah, Honey Badger. I feel like Honey Badger could have influenced a lot in the center of the board there, letting X-23 stay alive, keeping those 2 cubes, and making killing Corvus less of a priority. Because Corvus had those 2 cubes, he had no choice but to attack into Corvus, which is already a very, very hard thing to do. He's got the reality gem, which means he counts a single skull as a crit, and he has a natural damage reduction of 1. So I think that was probably a game influencing mistake. Honey Badger could have prevented X-23 from dazing, meaning X-23 could have then moved to the back line, maybe gone after Mystique there. There were lots of opportunities. Also, not remembering Ankle Biter from Honey Badger could have meant Corvus went down earlier. Lots of opportunities there. But unfortunately, that does mean that Lou's unbeaten run in the Second Chance League has come to an end. Congratulations to Kazo for playing a model down, but making the best of it. Making the absolute best of it. Hulk getting dazed, Hulk getting removed in the second activation never feels good. And at that point, it became 15 threat versus 9 threat. And I think that Lou did particularly well to hold on for as long as he did. But you couldn't help but feel once Hulk went down, it was a bit inevitable. But yeah, as Bojaz said earlier, it was a very quick one today. We got to rush through what I was arguing was going to be a slow game, but Cubes really sped this up. The game was over in 4, and we've only been live for about an hour and 20. This will be a short VOD. Okay, Cubes is an interesting one for Weapon X. I'm pretty sure Cubes was Lou's here. I feel like Cubes is interesting. I understand why you take Paranoia, because you take the damage immediately and then you heal it back with healing factor. But with Cubes, because it happens in the power phase, you unless you're activating first, you're sitting there with that extra damage, which makes you more susceptible to getting murdered. So I'm not sure if I entirely agree with it, but in this particular matchup, I liked it because it forced Kazo to play a little bit faster, um, which can also bait out some mistakes from your opponent. Because Kazo really wanted to play a nice slow game, he wanted to just kind of sit back and kill people, but he was forced to kind of come out a little bit faster, put Thanos into an interesting position where he was just pulling the Hulk in. Um, I'm wondering how much that would have impacted the game if we had had a slightly slower extract. Luno, our hero, who will be following in future streams. Ideally, that's a great question, Bojazz. Ideally, I'd love for all of our lovable misfits to be playing games and allowing me to stream them. Lucas in chat actually has some very high quality games that I would absolutely love to stream. Sadly, a lot of our players play on the Eastern time zone, and they like to play earlier in the evening. Usually, unless I get a lot of advance notices, I can only really cast the later games. Lou is actually playing in the central bracket here, so we're playing an hour ahead of those players. So it kind of suits our needs a bit better. But I'm hoping, with enough advance notice, I should be able to start streaming some more games. We get more of the Misfits on the channel. We've seen Lou, we've seen Corey so far. I'd love to stream a game with Mr. Schick. I'd love to see a lot of our players, and it's all a matter of if they're in the TTS League and if they're comfortable with their games being streamed. But I have a lot of fun doing this. I have a lot of fun with you guys watching as well, and asking your questions. Part of this is why I love the hobby. I love being a part of it. It does look like the players are wrapping up. They're doing their post-game stuff. I've got a list of questions that I'm going to be going to ask Luke. And if it's, I might try posting it in the Lovable Misfits Facebook chat just to kind of keep it going, or maybe post it in the YouTube comments here. If that's something you'd be interested in, please feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to see how I can make these streams better for you as the viewer, better for you as the players looking to learn more from the game. However, I'd like to thank you all for joining us, joining the Lovable Misfits on this adventure. Thank you very much for being part of the crew of the Milano as we watch these games. I love being here. I love you being here. Thank you so much. Please, again, remember to leave a like on the video, drop a comment if you can remember, and also hit that subscribe button. It'll help us grow. It'll help us get more exposure. It'll help us learn. And what's life without a little bit of learning? Thank you very much for being a part of tonight, and thank you for joining us again. I'll make a post next time we have a stream coming up, and I hope you